Hi guys, it's Terry. You are looking at a muted blue-gray background because I am going to be doing a reading. I'm going to be doing 3 entries from my WordPress blog because I did not want to violate any copyright issues by doing something else. So I took 3 articles from my blog, which I'll link to the blog in the description box, and you can feel free to check it out if you want to or not. And anyway, so I took 3 articles, and I am going to read them in succession for this blog, and I'll tell you the title of each one so that you know when I'm going to another entry. All right, shall we get started? You may hear the refrigerator in the background, and hopefully that's going to give you a sort of a nice white noise background. Therapy in Black and White is the name of the first article. I first climbed onto a piano bench when I was about 4. I learned that I could press those black and white keys in a certain way and recreate songs I had heard on TV or at church. This was a huge discovery for me. When my dad realized that I was playing by ear, he decided that I needed to learn music and the proper technique so I would not develop bad habits while playing. So, at age 6, I began taking piano lessons. I don't really remember learning music so much as I remember discovering it. It's like it was always there, and I had just learned to unlock the treasure chest in which it had been stored. It was never a chore for me to practice, except scales. Hated scales. Each new piece of music was like a puzzle waiting to be solved. However, being the free spirit I am, my teacher was never really able to suppress the part of me that played by ear. So, if I was playing a song that I'd heard before, I would inevitably put my own spin on it. This is why I can never accompany a choir. I never play exactly what is written. My teacher pointed out that it was fairly pretentious of me to think that I can improve upon Beethoven with my embellishments. I ignored that. After all, isn't there always room for improvement? If you had asked me between the ages of 7 and 12 what I wanted to be when I grew up, the answer would have been a concert pianist. That was later amended to being a concert pianist playing a concert grand Steinway piano at Carnegie Hall. I soon learned that playing the piano was a gateway to all sorts of social interaction. I played offertories at church, I played talent shows at school, and I played at Christmas parties. In the 6th grade, music provided me with my greatest social interaction of all, band. Because I already knew how to read music in both treble and bass clef, I was able to play clarinet, bass clarinet, and a smidgen of bassoon. I parlayed that musical talent into friendships that lasted a lifetime. I enjoyed playing at football games, going to competitions, playing in all-county and all-state East bands, marching in parades, and going to Disney World twice. Music had provided me with an incredible way to relate to people and experience wonderful things. I have always felt that music is a very personal form of expression, But in college, that belief was intensified. While in college, I struggled to fit in initially. I didn't quite know my place. I wasn't in the top tier of my class, and there was no band. Due to this, I felt adrift and picked up some bad habits. However, I portrayed a very strong character, or at least I tried to do so, and I couldn't let my unhappiness show. Where to put it? In my beloved piano. The piano didn't judge, it just sat there and let me work things out by pressing keys. It was in college that I began composing, a form of musical prayer when I couldn't get myself to actually call upon God. I spent many hours playing the baby grand Steinway in the practice room in the basement of the college chapel. Sometimes friends came to listen, and sometimes I wanted to play alone. My roommate always knew by the tone of my voice whether I wanted company or not. I don't play as much as I used to. Life tends to get in the way. But I have a beautiful Kurzweil digital piano that was given to me by my husband for Christmas one year. Best gift ever. And it is waiting for me whenever I need it. There I attend therapy in black and white, where I am both the therapist and the client, and musical is my theoretical orientation. I don't have to adhere to office hours, and I can stay longer than the standard hour. And while I don't think one should necessarily abandon counseling for playing the piano, it's a great supplement, and it's free. And that was reading number 1. Reading number 2 is called Notes from a Staycation. Last week, my husband walked up to me and handed me a piece of paper. It was the confirmation for a 2-night stay in a local 4-diamond hotel. I was also instructed to book some services from the spa located at the hotel and to have dinner at the restaurant there. Now understand, that is not a normal occurrence for me for a couple of reasons. First, I have a daughter with severe thought-based OCD and autism who relies on me. Second, the amount of money spent on this staycation is not in line with our normal budget for a vacation. In fact, I had not been anywhere by myself for 7 years until this staycation. The hotel is about 25 minutes from my house, so that my daughter could assure herself that I was no farther away than the time it takes to watch a Disney program episode. I was instructed not to answer text or take phone calls and refer any emergency to my husband. I spent 2 nights in a lovely king-size bedroom. I took a hot bath in a large, deep tub. I had a manicure, pedicure, and facial at the spa. I had filet mignon at the restaurant. I spent time in the hotel's library nook by a fireplace, and it was surrounded with Christmas decorations. I felt like Cinderella at the ball, not exactly used to such frippery, but enjoying it nonetheless. And for the first time in forever, I took a deep breath and relaxed. Truly relaxed. I didn't worry about advising anyone or fixing anything. I knew that my daughter was with my husband and he would comfort any anxieties she might be experiencing. It was a small piece of paradise. I am horrible at self-care. I am a fixer by nature, and it is hardwired in me to help anyone and everyone. That is why I studied to obtain a master's in counseling. I do not have it in me to say no to anyone at any time, day or night. This is in addition to helping my daughter or anyone else that needs it. In short, I am on duty 24/7, and I have no internal mechanism in me that says, stop and take care of you for a minute. The only way I will do this is if I have a migraine or the fibromyalgia puts me down for the count. This inability to stop and take a time out takes a toll both physically and emotionally. It increases the chance of a major depressive episode, and it exacerbates the fibro. So, as you can see, self-care needs to be more of a priority for me, and I'll bet it does for you too. I recently put a poll on Facebook that asked my friends to choose which method of self-care they employed. 18.6 said they took a nap. 15.6 said they spent time with friends. 13.5% said that they did something artistic, like painting or playing an instrument. Both going out in nature and taking a trip were at 12.5%, and 6% said they did yoga or some other type of meditation, relaxation exercise. By far, though, the most popular choice in the poll was other at 21%. Some of these things that were listed under other are taking a walk, people watching, reading, working on a project, shopping, quiet time, pedicures, exercise, cleaning house, which I didn't really understand, and taking a bath. By far the saddest listing under other was I don't have time for self-care. Yes, you do have time for self-care, even if it has to be enforced, like me. Self-care is crucial, and I'm only just learning that at this stage in my life. If you won't or can't bring yourself to do it, have someone you trust tell you when it's time to stop, and let them help you. Look at options above and choose one. Since I can't go to a fancy hotel every day, I choose music, playing the piano. I need to do it more often. It gives me peace and enjoyment. Find that thing for you that relaxes you and make time to do it. You will be healthier in every way, and you are more than worth it. Okay. Our last reading is Everything I Learned in Life I Learned from Band. In middle school, band is a class that takes up 1 hour per day. Other than the time spent practicing your instrument at home and the occasional extra practices rehearsing for Christmas and end-of-the-year concerts, not much more commitment than that is needed. If a student chose to take private lessons and try out for honors band, then we're looking at a few more hours of practice a week, but not a commitment that every student has to take on. Marching band is an altogether different animal than middle school band. Marching band requires a level of commitment slightly below the military. Band members are fully committed to school and fully committed to an extracurricular activity simultaneously. Many band members are in the top percentages of their class rankings, while also at the top chairs of their instrument section. Marching band practices begin mere weeks after the end of the school year and continue until the Christmas parade. Summer practices begin by teaching incoming freshmen the basic commands of marching, then progresses to marching about while they learn to do it in perfect step with one another. This will take place for a few hours every day. Then the band practices for the 4th of July parade, again a few hours per day, which will be the freshmen's first public performance. After that is band camp. Band camp is where the rubber hits the road in life lessons through band. Band camp is 8 to 10 hours of rehearsing on 100 degrees Fahrenheit asphalt, learning to make pictures on the field that require you to memorize countless steps to countless positions on the field, all while playing music you've memorized on an instrument. It is hot and exhausting, and sometimes it seems as if it will never come together. And yet it does, every year. And in the meantime, you develop friendships that last a lifetime. So, what did being in marching band teach me about life? Number 1, show up. Half of any success in life is just showing up when you're expected to be there. You cannot accomplish anything if you don't show up. Showing up is done physically, mentally, and emotionally. Just be there. Number 2, learn and do your part. No matter how little you think your contribution is, the whole is counting on you. If each person decided individually that their part didn't matter, then the band's halftime show would have been a disaster. This holds true for jobs, marriages, parenting, and a host of other activities. Number 3, practice makes perfect. Be prepared to repeat, repeat, repeat. Nothing is done perfectly the first time, or rarely. I remember if our band was rehearsing and did well, our band director would say, "That was good. It was probably a fluke. Do it again." In other words, if you want to be consistently successful, you're going to need to work at it. Number 4, healthy competition is a good thing. Competition, when not overdone, is a way to develop pride, confidence, and motivation to do one's best. Doing well in a band competition was the highlight of marching season. It was seeing the result of hard work and dedication. Competition developed good sportsmanship by recognizing and applauding other bands' performances. It developed a sense of belonging, or as our band liked to chant, esprit de corps, spirit of the corps, or in our case, spirit of the band. Number 5, a sense of belonging is important, especially more so when you are young. Everyone wants to belong in some way. Humans group together naturally. We seek units, family, teams, work groups, friends, etc. Band gives many kids that first sense of belonging, that security of being part of a tribe that is interested in the same things as they are. It provides a niche which allows a person to strengthen sense of self. My time in band told me that I was a musician and a good marcher, and I had skills that contributed to a whole. This feeling never left me. I've always wanted to be a part of something where I could contribute to the whole. If people develop this idea at a young age, it can only be a good thing for the world in general. Not to mention that being in a group allows you to share your joys and your disappointments. A good band competition allows us to yell and scream. A bad performance had us quietly going home on the bus, but thinking about doing better at the next one. Of course, many of these points could apply to sports, and often athletics is spoken about in this regard more than band. But just stop and think. Those band geeks you saw on the football field worked hard, and they learned a lot more than just music. Alright guys, those are the readings from my blog. I hope that you enjoyed them, and I hope by now that you're nice and relaxed, and maybe if it's nighttime when you're listening to this, you can crawl under comfy, cozy covers and close your eyes and drift away, hopefully to a beautiful and magic dreamland. If you are listening to this during the day, I hope that it was a nice break for you and that you can go on feeling nice and refreshed for the rest of your day. I hope that all of you guys are well and safe, and I wish you a pleasant day and a pleasant tomorrow. Thanks for listening, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.